Hey, let me ask you a question. When you hear London, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? You may think of the red telephone boxes, or the red buses, or maybe St. Paul Cathedral, the River Thames, and the Big Ben. Well, I can reassure you it's not all glamorous. Before you start planning on moving to London, I give you 10 reasons not to move to London. Number 10. London is overpopulated. When you go to a big city, you should expect traffic. However, with London, it's overpopulated with 9 million people. People are all over the place. They walk into you. Always be alert. Better watch out where you go. You need to be a fast walker. Londoners are usually fast at walking. You have to be able to dodge people as you walk. So please don't be texting on your phone whilst you walk. Be prepared. Wear a coat or bring your umbrella with you. It rains a lot. You'll be splashed by dirty water as you dodge past puddles. If you trip, prepare to be trampled. Try to get up as quickly as possible. People don't like to help each other. It's kind of alarming, but that's life there. By the way, walking is the best option that you have, as it's a really bad idea if you want to drive in London or even get a taxi, especially in the centre. It's extremely busy. Not stupid busy like India. It's busy for a European city. Talking about traffic, let's go to number 9. Number 9. The tube. The tube network is very busy during the rush hour. It's a rat race. Who can go home first and make tea? You can expect train station to be overcrowded when people go to work. When things get crowded, you will become vulnerable to theft. Remember to watch out for pickpockets. There's an influx of gangs that target the vulnerable. The central station is the most hated station, where it's very busy. It gets a bit stuffy. Make sure to get plenty of energy, as you will need it. Always take extra care. Mind the gap. Once inside the train, you should expect people talking loudly. You'll be lucky to find some place to stand. You'll smell body odor of people who haven't showered for ages. People will be talking loudly on the phones. Londoners are not kind folks. They don't like talking. They don't like having a conversation, so you better just stay silent and observe your surroundings as if you are in a nightmare. Occasionally you will see drunk people running their mouths as if they can solve world problems. Hooray! It's not all bad news, at least you'll be moving. Number 8. Loneliness. In a huge, densely populated city, you will feel as though you are the loneliest person in the world. However, it can be different to person. Men tend to be more lonely than women. However, with women, they speak out about their loneliness, possibly wanting more friends. If you want to talk to someone, you'll get a blank stare and a face full of disgust. People are like zombies. On occasion, you may meet nice people, but they are likely to be tourists. Number 7. Pissing in public. Londoners love to pee on the street. I know what you're thinking. This can't be true. If it is true, then it's only a fringe few who do this. Well, don't be surprised by the results. These few make London smell bad, really bad. With so many people and properties costing so much, you will need to pay to take a dump. Some people take it in the streets. Since London is a city full of tourists, students and workers, when you live in London, you will encounter many pissheads running around in the weekend. Public toilets cost money, so doing pee outside has become the norm. The city smells of pee. Number 6. Bad rappers. London streets are full of wannabe rappers. They want to imitate the American culture. There is one problem. British rappers suck compared to American rappers. British rappers seem to have little weight and value. Brits are good at indie and singing in a group. The rappers worship the American rappers, call them the Blood and Farm Gang. American rappers have recently lost, and now the scene is open to British rappers, and it looks like the limelight will last a few more years. Number 5. Snobbery. Londoners are very snobbish. They believe they are the best citizens in the world. They will make you believe whatever they fancy. They are very cunning in nature. Once upon a time, in the 19th century, the city was the hub of the world, and this arrogance has swept in its inhabitants.
I'm from England. I'm from England. I've never heard of it. England? Little island beside Europe.
People who live there think life is the best in London. There isn't anything better out there. So they stay there bowing their heads to the ridiculous rents one has to pay with a small income that seems good on paper but gets eaten away every month like fire burning a bag of straw. When new people move into London, Londoners are full of envy and jealousy. The neighbours seem as enemies. Why, you ask? Well, the house prices are ridiculously expensive and they think the newcomers are taking over. There is a massive segregation in London. People of different backgrounds live together and it's a weird place to live. You need to find your own people when you consider buying a house. It's like living in a prison. The government wants only wealthy families from overseas, and this is causing some friction. The middle class and working class suffer as they keep fighting to keep their head above water. Number 4, poor housing. London has a housing crisis. Less homes are being built and people are being pushed out from the city. Poor housing is being built to keep up with demand. Therefore, you can expect bad things to happen. Talking about bad things, look at what happened to people who live in apartments. You've probably heard that story where people lost their lives because of poor housing. There are countless stories of how bad are the buildings. They look okay from the outside, but inside the walls are rotten and need improvement. Buying a house is so expensive in London, you would rather rent for 100 years. Unless you are in the outskirts of London, you may be able to buy a tiny house, but hey, you are living the dream. Isn't that what you want? Number 3, pollution. The air in London is the most polluted in England. The data shows 2 million people living in areas with toxic air, including 400,000 children. Pollution causes at least 40,000 deaths in the UK from lung and heart disease, but it is being linked to an increasing range of health impacts. Scientists say evidence proves children's lung growth can be stunted by toxic air, and if someone has been breathing in polluted air for a long period of time, you will get lung cancer. Number 2, crime. The super wealthy international buy passports and get tax breaks. The bankers own the streets and do dodgy dealings, which is classified information, and sadly, the house prices in London are sky high. What is not hidden is that crimes on the street is on the rise and is rising even though guns are illegal. Knives are the sole weapon a gangbanger uses to slash an innocent victim. Many gang members have bad education and come from poor neighborhoods. They tend to attack rival gangs but fail 9 out of 10 and hurt an innocent victim. Theft is the most common crime in London, carried out by mobbed bikers. Westminster is the worst borough in London, having the most crime committed. Number 1, London is watching you. You are under surveillance at all times. London is watching you. It has more cameras than any other city in the Western world. Since we live in a democratic country, the state does not trust anyone. If you are in London, you will get tracked. Where you go, what you do, Big Brother is always watching you. And there we have it, the top 10 reasons not to move to London. If you like my content, subscribe and leave a comment below what you think of London.